like, oh, did they call me and did I miss the call? But they never called me or anything.
From 9 a.m. until 5, so
And I wasn't used at all. Like, I was in a crew room. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hello, my name is Shanice. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that way you stay notified whenever I upload new videos. And welcome to the family. First and foremost, excuse the hair because I was helping my boyfriend move, so I sweated it all out. I wanted to document, my journey going to Mainline, similar to when I first went to training for my current airline. It's not going to be uploaded until probably close to when I actually go to training, because I don't want my current airline end up seeing this and they not like what I'm going to say. It's not going to be anything like super negative or talking down on the company or anything, but still, just to be safe, I don't want to get fired before I have to, start work. Today is currently June 11th, and I go to the standard test that, my new company has for, new hires. On the 17th. Mainline company that I, went with, or I'm, going to start working with, is actually one of the companies that I had mentioned in one of my previous videos about, there was these two companies that had contacted me, and I basically, withdrew my application with them because I had just, finished training and didn't want to, up and leave the company again. With this company, I originally, first time applied in September of 2021. I had applied to everybody around that time, but I didn't hear anything, nothing from them until January of 2022. And I had just graduated at my current company, and I was on my first couple weeks officially being a flight attendant with my current company. So when I had got the email, I was a little upset, because I'm like, why couldn't y'all reach back out to me before? That's part of Mainline. Some of their processes or application process is very long. I had just, went through 4 weeks of training without pay. I still hadn't, gotten paid yet, like my first official check yet, because, we don't get paid until the month after. I didn't want to, go through all that training with no pay and then go through training again with no pay. So I just, deferred my application. I was also scared to, one, go through training again, and two, have to go through commuter life. At my current company, Dallas is one of our senior bases, but it only took me almost close to 2 months before I officially was able to transfer over to DFW. So I graduated at my current company December 20th of 2022, and I was approved to start working out of DFW starting the month of February. So it wasn't long at all for me to be able to transition over to DFW. However, at the time there was a flight attendant shortage, so of course it was so quick for me. However, even though it was a short time, I did experience, commuting, and it's very much another job in itself. So I was not looking forward to that, because with Mainline, like any Mainline company, it's guaranteed that you're going to commute, and there's no telling how long it may take for you to be able to move to your, desired base. And of course, since I am here in Texas, Dallas is a very senior base, so it's going to be a while before I'm able to get Dallas. I'll be highly surprised if it's a short amount of time, but I'm already expecting commuter life. But yeah, that's part of also what, discouraged me on, going Mainline. I want to say either March or April of 2022 this year, I had received an email from them. Basically, it was like I like to call it a second chance email. And it's basically asking if you're still interested in this flight attendant position. And, I saw that as my opportunity, because this company was my number one company that I've wanted to go to. So I told myself, I'm not gonna, mess up this opportunity again, because, there's no telling when it's gonna come back around. I responded to the email, told them I was interested, and I want to say 1 or 2 weeks later, I got an email basically, to schedule my phone screen. It's not an interview, it's just a phone screen. So after that one, I got the email to schedule the virtual interview with this company. And, I was, of course, studying, researching the company, making sure I, know as much about the company as possible. Of course, I was nervous, but I felt confident because, I did practice questions, got as prepared as possible for this interview. So when I actually had the interview, I felt very much calm. They made me feel very much relaxed. I was still nervous, but not as nervous, if that makes sense. 2 days after the virtual interview, I actually received the email. Like, I was really actually at work and I was on my overnight, and like something, told me to look at my email, and I saw it was an email from them. And like, without opening it, I saw congratulations. So it's like I like hopped up like out of the bed and I was just in my room celebrating. So now here we are today, June 11th, and my PPST is next week on the 17th. This is going to be, like I said, a long process because I have to do the PPST, and then, that's when you officially get the CJO. Then you have to do like the background check and fingerprints and drug tests. Like, all of those things already take like a while in itself. So I'm already not expecting to go to training until probably August, probably late August, which that actually works out for me. I was also nervous about when the possibility of my training date was going to come up because I can't really do next month, July, because that's when I'm actually moving. So before I get my official training packet, I've been studying the PAs, which that is a new one for me because at my current company, we didn't have to ever learn the PAs, like have to memorize it. We have our tablet and we literally read from our tablet. I have I want to say a couple months ago is when I actually like memorized the PAs, and it's not because like, oh, I just wanted to memorize it. It was just like, I just ended up memorizing it without purposely memorizing it because I just say it so much. So it's like, I know what to say. So I actually know the PAs. Like I was literally studying the PAs before even my virtual interview. Like, I just had high hopes. I don't know. I just had high hopes. It honestly worked. Hey guys, so excuse the little background noise. It is like 93 degrees right now, so I need this AC on. But I just wanted to like give a quick update. Today is June 14th, so I have exactly 3 days before my standard test. In the meantime, I am practicing, the little bit of things I know I'll need to learn for training, which has been PAs and airport codes. I got my PAs down pack. I know, all of them. I'm very confident about that. Now I'm just working on these airport codes, which has been a bit tricky for me, especially the ones that like have these letters that don't even say anything about it in their name. Like Hartford, Connecticut. Why is it BDL? Where is the BD or L in Hartford, Connecticut? So I almost, tripped myself up because originally, like how I'm learning or quizzing myself on the airport codes, I'm using Quizlet. And a couple weeks to a month ago when I first started, learning the PAs and the airport codes, I first put in like only 25 terms of the airport codes because how I wanted to do it was learn those 25 and then add another bunch to it. But then I forgot that when I like continue to practice them, I forgot that that's not all of them. So I literally had like an epiphany. So I just searched Quizlet for somebody else's set that they had already created. So I'm just sitting here practicing them while I'm doing my delivery. And it's like as I'm doing like testing myself, I'm learning like more and more different like international locations that we go to, and it's like I'm getting more and more excited about being a part of this new company, but it's still a long journey. Today is June 17th. Today is the big day where I do my standard test at my new Mainline company. I'm more excited than nervous. It's like it's sinking in that it's, starting to get real. I'm confident about the test. I'm just more nervous about my sleeve moving up when I don't need it to, because I do have a tattoo, so I have to wear long sleeves. See, tattoo. So if we have to like raise our hands or anything, I'm gonna try to do it with my left hand. I'm actually here like hours earlier than I need to because I'm in the 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. time slot, and right now it's literally 11:02. I just wanted to make sure I got here like early enough to where if there was any confusion, I was able to, figure it out and be able to still make it here on time. I just came out, so it's all done. It was pretty easy and simple, a lot easier than when I made it out in my head. Now, time to wait a couple days before, officially getting the CJO, and then after that, it'll take 2 to 6 weeks for like the background check and everything. And then that's when I find out, my class dates. I met some really good people here. I just can't wait to start training and see if any of these people that was here is going to be in my class. Yesterday, June 20th, I had officially received my CJO email. For some reason, I was still nervous because like while I was at my standardized test, there was like several women there who was there from a retake, who had to do a retake because their prior tests from their like jump seat portion, it was like their hips was, I guess, too wide and they didn't pay attention to when they sat down. So that made me nervous because I do have some hips. So I'm like, okay, I don't want that to happen to me where I have to do a retest. But, I officially got my CJO yesterday, which means I don't have to do any retakes. Today I received 2 emails. So the first email was basically letting me know that the background check has started on me, and I also got the email to schedule an appointment for fingerprints. I was able to get that scheduled for later on today, so it's scheduled for 4 p.m. I just wish the drug test email was also sent today, so that way I could try to get that one done today also, because tomorrow I actually go back to work. So if they don't send it at all today, it's looking like whenever they send it, I'll be out at work and I'll have to do it wherever I'm doing the layover at. So I'm mentally preparing to have to do it while I'm, at my layover. I'm hoping I get it today, so that way I'm completely done with everything I need to do on my side and just continue waiting for my training date. But it is what it is. And I forgot to let you guys know, maybe a week ago, my company, well, I could say the name now because when this come out, I won't be with them anymore. But my company, Envoy, had recently gave everybody who is under 5 years in the company a pay raise. So now everybody, including the 5-year mark flight attendants, is now making the same amount. That sounds great and everything, but the way I interpreted it was that since we got a raise, you basically won't get your yearly raise until you hit year 6. Of course, I wasn't the only one thinking that, but last night I was talking to one of my classmates, and I guess everyone will still get a raise. It's just that there was an increase. That of course still doesn't make me want to stay. All right, so it is a couple hours later. My wish came true. They actually sent me my drug test, like information that I need to go to a facility to go get my drug test. I was kind of stressing myself out a little bit about it because they had sent the email around 4:30. I didn't see it until like 4:40. At first when I saw the email, I thought it was like a confirmation about my fingerprints, because again, I had to go do my fingerprints at 4. So I was like overthinking, I'm like, okay, so do I have to schedule an appointment somewhere? But it's like 5, like almost 5 o'clock here, and I have standby tomorrow, so I don't know exactly if they give me a trip, what time I'm gonna finish the trip to be able to get in early enough to wherever location I'm at to go to a facility. So I just Googled drug testing areas near me, and the results, some of the places, the first places that I seen, they was closing at 5. And again, it was about 4:40 going on 4:50 around the time I seen the email. So I was getting more and more stressed out until I saw this. It was the third option down, and it said they closed at 6. So I called them to make sure if they took walk-in appointments, which that's all they do is walk-ins, and the site said they close at 6, but they said that they close at 9. So I was so relieved. So I actually just came back from getting my drug test, so now everything that I need to do on my end is fully completed. I already did my fingerprints and I went and got my drug test, and then again I got the confirmation email basically saying that my background check has started. So now it's just a waiting game for receiving an email on everything had cleared and receiving a training. I am a couple days, late on giving an update. However, the last time I talked to you guys, it was on June 21st, which was the day that I took my fingerprints and drug test. I was able to go online and check the status of my background check. So after I put in everything, it sent me an email giving me the status and on Thursday, June 23rd, it basically said that my background check was complete. On that same date, that's when I had got an email from one of the recruiters basically letting me know that my whole employment process was complete. So for me, I think my process went by faster than others, which I was highly surprised. So when she basically told me, my employment process was complete, she basically also told me, when my training date was going to be. My training date would have been next month, July 18th. However, I have to move next month on the 29th. So that wouldn't have worked out because graduation would have been August 12th. So unfortunately, I had to, do a deferment, which I didn't want to have to do because I don't know. I just didn't want to have to do it. So my new class date is actually August 15th. So I have a little over a month until I officially go to training. I have to put in my 2 weeks notice at my current airline, which is Envoy, on July 7th. And my last day will be July 21st. Only reason is I tried to do the process of, trying to get the 29th off. I tried to put in a bid protest and they told me why, I was scheduled on that date. And then I also tried to basically swap the dates within my own schedule, and it still was denied because I guess it said because of staffing. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to make my last date the 21st because I really need the 29th off with no negotiation. But I don't know if I will, talk to you guys between now and training. So I will see you guys, I guess, when it's closer in August. Hey guys, so today is July 20th. I'm actually on my way to work to begin my last trip at this company. Usually, like, obviously you guys see that I usually have trips in their own little video, but I decided to add this to this video because the last 2 days I was on call for a total of 4 days, but the last 2 days I was on wrap, which means I'm at home on call and I was not used at all. So today is day 3 and they finally called me, and it's an easy trip. It's crazy because this will be my first time officially doing a meal trip, and it would be on my last trip ever. So it's an easy trip. It's a 1-1 trip. So I have one leg to Billings today. I overnight there, and then I have one leg back to DFW tomorrow, and then I'm done. It's gonna be a real short overnight anyway because it's only 11 hours and 51 minutes. And in case you don't know, the time that we land at the airport and actually make it to the hotel, that also like eats into our overnight. So it's truly not an 11 hour and 51 minute overnight. It might end up being like an 8 or 7 hour overnight by the time I officially, lay down and go to sleep.
King of the road, trailer for sailoring. Man, trailer for sailoring. Ain't got no cigarettes, but trailer for sailoring.
Alright, so I made it into the hotel here in Billings. So I just want to give a debriefing on how today went. So to start out, my mom was taking me to the airport. Normally, when we go to the airport, GPS works correctly. So it takes us right to where we need to be, like in the B terminal and the gate where, I need to be dropped off at. Well, today, the GPS was taking us, like, first it was all the way on east side of the terminal, even though GPS was supposed to be going to B. So it kept trying to take us to this gate that actually where like the employee shuttle and all of the other buses, they're the only authorized vehicles who's able to go through that gate. So we kept going around in circles, like trying to adjust the GPS, and it kept taking us there until my mom just like pulled in and basically was able to talk to somebody through the intercom on, the little monitor box, I don't know what you call it. So the lady was able to tell us where we need to go and how to get there and everything. So I finally made it to the airport. I want to say it was around 4:20. Check-in for me was 4:44. I made it there in time. Now, originally the flight was pushed back or delayed to depart at 5:32, but when I had got to the airport, they had actually moved it back up to 5:25, which was the original departure time. So I was hurried, like scurrying over there to the gate, literally sweating and everything, how fast I was trying to get over there, nervous that I was going to get there. I don't want to say late, but like we're supposed to be at the gate 40 minutes prior. So I was nervous I'll get there like 1 or 2 minutes after the whole 40-minute, thing. But come to find out, the plane was actually coming from Torreon, Mexico. So it didn't even make it to the gate yet by the time I had got there. So yeah, so I was in a rush for nothing. And then we had to wait, I want to say 10 or 15 minutes, like after all of us had made it to the gate, like all of the crew for this flight. Because if you don't know, any international flights that's coming back over, and I'm pretty sure vice versa, there has to be a security check performed on the plane. So we wasn't going to leave until after that security check was performed. So they delayed the flight until 5:45. So I was able to successfully do this meal flight. I know I didn't mention I was FA1 on this flight. So FA1, first class, any flight that is over 900 miles is a meal flight. So I was successfully able to, do it. I didn't have any issues, unlike the last time that I was supposed to do a meal flight. I was very much busy throughout the flight, like the 2 hour and 30-minute time, because that's how long this flight was, that flew by. Like, but I did notice, like, since I haven't really been flying that much, I guess my body started to get used to not flying. So the flight was a little turbulent. It wasn't severe or anything, but there was, patches where it was getting a little bumpy. So normally I have motion sickness bands, which I've shown you guys before, and I only put those on if I am FA2 or if I am working on our smaller plane, which is the 140, 145 plane. Those are the only flights that, even if it's not turbulent, I'll still end up feeling nauseous. So I just go ahead and put the bands on. But if I'm FA1 on the 175, I don't need it. But Today, since it was a little turbulent and I was standing up, and I guess, you know, since I haven't been flying for so long, I did start to get a little nauseous. It wasn't to the point where I was like keeling over, about to, you know, throw up. It was just, you know, that feeling where, okay, I'm getting nauseous, let me hurry up and sit down. During our van ride to the hotel, I actually got news that one of our planes, it was headed to Nashville, but it had to divert to Birmingham because they had went through like severe turbulence. So 8 people was injured, and that includes 2 of our flight attendants on that flight. It was minor injuries, it was nothing severe, but I do want to say I am, you know, hoping for their speedy recovery. And like, for anybody who is a flight attendant or want to be a flight attendant, yes, you may be used to, you know, walking around during turbulence, and you might want to hurry up and get your service done, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. So whenever you're fit, there is turbulence, especially if it's starting to get a little rough, it's best to just go ahead and sit down. And if you're not able to complete a service, then you're just not able to complete a service, because your safety is more important than getting somebody some pretzels. And on top of that, both of the flight attendants was injured in this situation. So what if, you know, the situation was worse than it actually was, and like the plane almost crashed or did crash or something, a scenario that would have needed the flight attendant. So the situation could have been worse. I am glad that it wasn't as bad as it is. So this is a short overnight. Our departure time is 7:55 tomorrow, so our van time is 7, which means I got to get up at 5. I am going to end the video here. If you are enjoying my videos, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.